Hello, and welcome to Clerk of Court Live. My name is Melissa Ford, and I am the Chief Human Resources Officer for the Honorable Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And I will be your host this evening. You may view Clerk of Court Live on CAN TV, Channel 21, or on http://cantv.org/hotline/. This is a live call-in show, and we welcome questions and comments from our audience. The number is 312-738-1060, so feel free to call in. Please note the contact information for the Office of the Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. We're headquartered in the Daly Center at 50 West Washington, with other locations throughout Cook County. Our telephone number is 312-603-5031, and our website is cookcountyclerkofcourt.org. Today, I'm happy to introduce this week's guest, Ms. Sue Welfeld, the Chief Deputy Clerk of Civil Appeals Division, who will share information about mandatory e-filing.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm happy to be here on Clerk of Court Live.
Thank you. We are very pleased to have you. So, Sue, I'm going to ask you various questions about e-filing so that our viewers can learn all about the exciting features of our system and how to file at the clerk's office.
Okay, great.
Please tell our audience just generally about mandatory e-filing.
Sure. So e-filing is filing your court documents electronically through our website, as opposed to our conventional method of filing, which was having to bring the paper court documents to a courthouse to file them. This way you can file from the convenience of your home or office or library, if that's convenient for you, instead of having to bring your documents in somewhere.
Oh, that's very convenient, very convenient. When did mandatory e-filing go into effect?
So, as of July 1st, 2018, the Illinois Supreme Court mandated that Cook County use the statewide electronic filing system, or eFile Illinois, for all civil case types.
Okay, so mandatory e-filing is not for all case types? What types?
No, so it's mandatory for all civil case types, which means our areas of law of municipal civil, law division, domestic relations, chancery, probate, county, and domestic violence, both in the city of Chicago and all 5 suburban courthouses.
And where do filers register?
So my recommendation if you're new to e-filing would be to go to our website, which we mentioned was www.cookcountyclerkofcourt.org, and click on the e-filing portal. That will take you to a large amount of information that can help you navigate through the e-filing system. The first step in e-filing would be to select what's called an e-filing service provider, or EFSP. And we have a comparison chart with active links to each of the EFSPs on our website, and that's a great place to begin. So you can select, it tells you all the different features and services that each of the EFSP offers. And then you would click on one of those to register with one of the EFSPs to begin e-filing.
Oh, that sounds very convenient. And you know what? We actually can give our viewers a look at how the e-filing system looks on our website. So, Sue, while we are just showing how you can go to our e-filing portal, and this is actually our e-filing informational portal where you can find general information, special instructions, frequently asked questions. Can you give our filers some information about how they would be able to register?
Sure. So if you see that red link that says select an electronic filing service provider, if you click on that, that takes you to the comparison chart that I mentioned that lists all the different services that the EFSPs have to offer. And then you would click on one of those. It would take you to that EFSP's website, where then you would click a Register Now type button. There may be different wording on different EFSPs. And you would give them your information, your name, address, and you need an email address, and you need some method of payment, either a credit card or an e-check to set up your e-filing account. and then they'll send you an email back to the email address that you registered with, and then you would complete your registration by clicking on that link in the email.
Sue, now you've mentioned EFSPs a few times in your answers. Can you explain to the audience what an EFSP is?
Sure. It's an electronic filing service provider that has been certified by the state to take your documents that you upload for e-filing and file them with the court. They're sort of the middle between you and the courthouse to get your documents formatted and filed in the correct locations.
Oh, that's very helpful explanation. And is there a fee to use eFile Illinois?
There's not necessarily a fee. There's the statutory fees for certain case filings for new cases and appearances and other filings that have been there when you conventionally file as well. And then there is a processing fee for a credit card or an e-check. And then some of the EFSPs do have extra services that they offer that there may be additional fees, and that is listed in that comparison chart.
Oh, okay. But that was a very good explanation of whether there are fees or not. Now, I have another question. How do you serve an individual with an e-filed document?
You can do a lot of the conventional methods of service. You can mail the document that you're filing. You can email it. You can personal delivery for your document. If you're filing a new case, you still have to deliver those documents to the Cook County Sheriff to have a new suit served upon the party that you're suing. But for your subsequent and your documents after you filed your initial suit, you can use any of those ways that I just mentioned, as well as in the e-filing system there's a field called courtesy copies, and if you enter each of the opposing parties' email address in that courtesy copy, they would receive an email from the e-filing system, and then you could track that when they receive it, when they open it, and that type of thing.
What should filers expect as an average turnaround time from when their filing is submitted until the clerk's office reviews it?
So the clerk of the circuit court strives to accept your filing the same day that it's filed to the best of their ability until our 4:30 turnaround time. So documents filed prior to the 4:30 end of business day for the clerk's office, we try to get as many of those filings accepted prior to 4:30 as possible. Documents filed after 4:30, we try to get accepted the next day. Depending on volume, at any given time, though, it could take up from 24 to 48 hours to accept your filing.
Are cases stamped when they're filed or approved?
So the stamp is placed on the file when we accept your filing. However, the date that is placed on it is the date that you actually filed your envelope. So, for example, if you e-file a document anywhere up to 11:59 on Thursday, let's say, and we don't accept that document until Friday, it would receive Thursday's date in the file stamp because that's the date that you filed it. And that extends our business day past the 4:30 of a conventional filing method, where you can file up to 11:59 p.m. that day and it'll still be accepted for that day.
Oh, okay. And so just to make sure that I understand exactly what you explained, so let's say, for example, I were to e-file a document on a Saturday. Since the Saturday is not a court business day, then would my document be considered filed on that Monday?
Yes, it would. So anything after 11:59 p.m. on Friday would receive Monday's date when we apply that file stamp, no matter when we accepted it, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, so that's important information to have. If there are any, statutes of limitations, then everyone needs to ensure that if something, let's say, is due on a Friday, the statute of limitation happens to fall on a Friday, then they need to ensure that they actually file it on that Friday by 11:59.
Correct.
They cannot wait until
Saturday
1 or 2 in the morning.
Correct, yes, because then it would get Monday's file stamp.
And what kind of support or training is available for eFile Illinois?
So there's a lot of different on-site and off-site ways you can get assistance with e-filing. On-site, we have a wonderful resource called the eFile Help Center, which is in the lower level of the Daily Center, room LL12. And we have computers and scanners and staff that can assist you through the e-filing process and make sure you get everything filed correctly. these same resources are also available at every location that has mandatory e-filing. So all of the different divisions throughout the Daily Center, each of the suburban courthouses, and the domestic violence courthouse also has stations for the public to use computers, scanners, and staff assistance for e-filing. And that's on site. There's also some resources for you if you like to file from your home or office. We have webinars, and that same e-information portal that we showed you on our website, there's a link on the left-hand side to training, and there's different webinars from many of the different EFSPs to help guide you through filing with that particular EFSP. We also have a help desk line. If you're stuck on something and you need to give us a call, we can walk you through something over the phone, and that number is 312-603-HELP or 312-603-4357. In addition, if you have any specific, and they can walk you through, again, the e-filing process, the eFile Illinois system to help get you through your filing. If you have questions about your case itself or what forms you might need or any procedures, our website also has a list of contact information for every area of law that's part of mandatory e-filing. And so you could give the different divisions a call for assistance prior to actually e-filing and what you need to do to prepare your documents and what you might need to e-file. In that same vein, in that e-filing portal that we showed you, there is a tab called Court Forms Suites, and it can also give you some information on what forms you may need to file a specific thing. So for example, if you're trying to file a small claims case, you can go to that Court Forms Suites and it lists the forms that you need to fill out to file that case. And there's a tab for every area of law that's part of mandatory e-filing. And so it's another resource where you can get some information on what documents you need to complete and e-file with the Clerk of the Circuit Court.
Wow, so there are a variety of resources for anyone who needs assistance with e-filing, so to make it very, very convenient. I have a question about the e-filing centers. So you made reference to being able to go down to the e-filing system in LL12 to receive assistance. What type of assistance can they provide? Can they, down in LL12, give you legal advice, or is it
No,
other types of advice?
The Clerk of the Circuit Court is prohibited from giving any kind of legal advice. So they can't tell you what you have to file, what kind of case you need to file. They can help you with, once you know what you need to file, there is some staff members from each area of law that could help you with forms, and then they help you with how to scan it, how to navigate through the e-file system, how to enter your attorney code. Even if you're filing as a self-represented litigant, you have an attorney code that you need to enter. They can help you with what filing codes to select, how to select your payment method, how to select any dates you may need, whether it be a return date or an actual court date. So they can navigate you through that. They just cannot give you any legal advice.
Okay, so that is very good to know. So it can help you with procedural information, but not legal advice.
Correct.
Well, it appears that we have a caller. Caller, what is your question, or do you have a question or comment?
You have an attorney code.
Yes, I have a question. I was wondering if the e-filing, I'm trying to mute my, and I don't know how to mute this, but anyway, I was wondering if e-filing is available for traffic cases?
Very good to know.
At this time, e-filing is not available for traffic cases. We are, once the AOIC, which is the administrative arm of the Illinois Supreme Court, gives us permission to e-file with traffic, we will be able to e-file with that. So right now, traffic and criminal is not part of our e-filing system, just the civil areas of law.
Caller, thank you very much for that question. And, when you are speaking to mandatory e-filing, it makes me think of, actually, is it true that the clerk's office had e-filing prior to it being mandated by the AOIC? Is that true?
It is true. We had, the Clerk of the Circuit Court actually had permissive e-filing going as far back as 2009. In the beginning, it was just the law division. Commercial litigation type cases were able to be e-filed back in 2009. I believe it was 2013 when the Illinois Supreme Court and the AOIC expanded that to all of the civil areas of law with the exception of county division. And then with mandatory e-filing in 2018, all areas of law were part of e-filing.
Oh, wow. So the clerk's office was way ahead of the curve.
They were.
Didn't wait until
They were
e-filing was mandated.
Yes.
I'm not surprised at all. It looks like we have another caller. Caller, please ask your question or make your comment.
Yes, hi. I wanted to know if I only have cash, how can I e-file?
So right now with e-filing, it has to be a credit card or a e-check. You can go and obtain, to your local market or drugstore and obtain one of those fillable credit cards with your cash, and then you could use that to e-file.
Thank you very much for the question, caller. And so you actually made reference to the e-filing center, but then you also made reference to the online assistance as well. So can you just provide a little bit more information about what other assistance, the webinars, and also if there's any possible training through EFSPs as well?
So many of the EFSPs do have specific webinars for that ESP on our website. You can also go to, each of the EFSPs has their own website, which has additional webinars. They also have contact numbers, and each one of them has a help desk that if something is technical, something is about their system not working, or how to set up certain things that are outside the scope of the clerk's office, setting up service contacts for your firm, or how you add attorneys to your firm level, those type of questions, you would contact the phone number for each of the EFSPs, and those numbers are also located in that comparison chart that we've mentioned that is located on our website.
And this is moving, of course, still with e-filing on that topic, but a little bit unrelated to the training. But can I correct and resubmit a filing without doing the entire process over?
Sure. So there are reasons why your filing might have gotten rejected. I believe there's a list of 11 reasons that were approved by the Chief Judge of Cook County, Judge Evans. The most common being you didn't pay a mandatory statutory fee for the filing that you are filing with the clerk's office. Once a filing is rejected, you don't have to start over. You would go to your filer dashboard. You would click on the returned folder on your filer dashboard, which your filer dashboard is kind of the main page of whatever e-filing service provider you're using. And you would click on the returned folder, and then you would see the folder that was rejected by the clerk's office. There would be an actions button. You would click on that actions button and then say copy folder. Once you copy that folder, everything that you had contained in that folder would be the same. The only exception to that is if you had filed your original folder envelope in the wrong location. So let's say it was supposed to be a District 6 civil case and you filed it as a District 1 law division case. You can't change that by copying the envelope. That's prior to when it gets copied. So you would have to file a new envelope for that. But other than that, you could use that actions copy envelope. Your document should still be attached, and you just make the changes that you need to make based on the rejection reason that was provided to you by the acceptor of that envelope.
Oh, that's very good information to have. Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
So it looks like we have another caller. Caller, please ask your question or give your comment.
Yes, I have a question. Do you have assistance for people who are trying to file e-file? Do you have impaired assistance for those who are impaired?
I believe at the Daily Center there are computers that are available that have screen readers and other items that allow people with a disability to utilize. We also don't, mandatory filing, one of the other exceptions for mandatory filing is if your disability makes you unable to e-file. You are not mandatory e-filing. You can still file conventional paper, but we do have resources in the Daily Center that can assist you with e-filing if you would like to do that.
Caller, thank you for that question. And going back to before the caller called in, we were discussing rejection reasons.
Yes.
And so what I'm curious to know is how would you know that your filing that you submitted was rejected? Do you receive a phone call? Do you how would you find out?
Great question. Thank you. You don't. You'll receive an email back. Whether it's accepted or rejected, you should receive an email. So there's a series of emails that get sent to you throughout the process. Once your envelope is successfully submitted, you get an email saying it's been submitted. And then once it's either accepted or rejected, you get another email saying that. And the rejected email should also contain a rejection reason as to why your envelope is being rejected, so that you know what it is you need to correct.
Oh, that's great. So you actually receive a specific reason why your document is
Yes.
rejected. So
yes, there should be a list of reasons that the rejector selects, and then usually there's a box they can type in to give you more information, and we try to help the filers know exactly what it is that they need to do to correct that envelope. So we'll type information into that box.
wonderful. It appears that we have another caller. Caller, please ask your question or provide your comment.
Yes, we had a civil suit against the city, and my son did win, but it was appealed.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Now I can't get any information on what's going on with it.
Okay. So once a file is appealed, the jurisdiction for that case is transferred to the appellate court. So, but once the appellate court makes a decision on that case, that decision does get sent back to our office, and it gets data entered onto our electronic docket. So my recommendation would be to contact the courthouse, the division where your case was heard, and see if they've received a decision back from the appellate court. Or you can also contact the appellate court to find out if they have rendered a decision in that case.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Caller, thanks for your question and comment. Well, that's the advantage of having you here, Sue, from the Civil Appeals
Yes.
Department. You were able to answer that question and direct our caller as to where she should best go for additional information. And Sue, you've been very helpful with your wealth of knowledge concerning e-filing, from actually how to e-file to training to appeals. And so I thank you for that information, and very happy that you are here on Clerk of Court Live today. Is there any other important information that you would like to add regarding mandatory e-filing?
So I really would just like to stress the utilization of the tools and resources that we offer. The e-filing portal is a wealth of information. There's a quick reference guide that answers a lot of beginning questions. One of the stumbling blocks people have is right at the very beginning when they're trying to enter their case number. It may be written down on a piece of paper as 19L123, but to enter it in e-filing, you would actually need to enter that as 2019L000123. So there in that quick reference guide, it tells you that information and exactly how to enter your case number for every area of law that's affected by mandatory e-filing. And then the general information, there's special instructions that can help you with special forms you may need, special places in the e-filing system you might have to click that you wouldn't realize if you're trying to add mailing or copy fees, that type of thing. So I highly recommend using that e-file portal. It's really a lot of information there that can help you.
Okay, great. That is wonderful information. I want to bring everyone's attention back to the overhead projector. Please note that the contact information for the Clerk of the Circuit Court, again, we're headquartered at 50 West Washington with locations around Cook County. Well, we are almost out of time. I thank you, Ms. Welfeld, for providing such interesting information about mandatory e-filing. For more information, please visit our website at www.clerkofcourt.org. cookcountyclerkofcourt.org, or like our Facebook page, Cook County Clerk of Court. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. Please tune into Clerk of the Court Live next Thursday at 5 p.m. when Mr. Wasu Frashina will be hosting, and we will have a very, very special guest, the Honorable Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And they will discuss the Clerk's Office innovations. Have a wonderful evening.